everyone. Hope everyone is doing good. Today I am going to discuss about electrochemical cell. Electrochemical cell is a basic unit of battery. By knowing the working of electrochemical cell, we can understand the functioning of a battery. Here, electrochemical cell is a device which converts chemical energy into electrical energy through a predominant redox reaction. So already we discussed about redox reaction in previous video clearly. Right now, by taking an example, we are going to discuss about electrochemical cell. Here once again the definition, the functioning of electrochemical cell is a device which converts chemical energy into electrical energy. Example for this electrochemical cell is galvanic cell or voltaic cell. In this galvanic cell, which is constructed by taking zinc metal or zinc rod placed in zinc sulfate solution as well copper rod placed in copper sulfate solution. Both the half cells are separated with either semi-permeable membrane or semi-permeable membrane or salt bridge. Here the construction of electrochemical cell, example galvanic cell, is like this. Zinc rod placed in zinc sulfate solution, copper rod placed in copper sulfate solution. Here both the half cells are separated with semi-permeable membrane or salt bridge. Here the salt bridge or semi-permeable membrane functions same thing. What is that? Which allows only the ions but not the electrons, and also avoids the intermixing of these two solutions, electrolytic solutions. Here in this, when zinc rod placed in zinc sulfate solution, it readily loses its electrons by undergoing oxidation. Zinc gives rise to zinc 2++, 2E-. Whereas when copper rod placed in copper sulfate solution, here copper involves in reduction by taking the 2 electrons from its salt solution and deposited as copper on the copper rod. Why the zinc involves in oxidation as well as copper involves in reduction? Already we discussed the same point in our previous video, that is electrochemical cell series, electrochemical series. Here zinc is having more oxidation potential than copper. So that when the combination of zinc and copper is connected, the zinc involves in oxidation, copper involves in reduction. Here if we take the overall reaction of a cell, zinc plus copper 2+ gives rise to zinc 2++ copper. The cell reaction is zinc plus copper 2+ gives rise to zinc 2++ copper, which will result in EMF, electromotive force. What is meant by electromotive force? Electromotive force is nothing but, electrode potential is nothing but, here whenever the anode nothing but, the electrode which involves in oxidation is known as anode, the electrode which involves in reduction is known as cathode. Here anode gives oxidation potential, cathode gives reduction potential. So the difference in potential may exist between two electrodes. So that difference in potential is known as electromotive force. So here whenever the zinc involves in oxidation, here it releases electrons. So the electrons may migrate towards the cathode through this external circuit. Right? Both the electrodes are connected with voltmeter. Through this voltmeter, the electrons may transfer from anode to cathode. Right? So through internal circuit, electrons may transfer. Here the electricity is transferred from cathode to anode, which is opposite one. Here by this redox reaction already we know this. Both oxidation and reduction takes place side by side. Here, as a result of this redox reaction, we will get EMF value 1.09 volts. EMF value 1.09 volts. Here, if the cell EMF generated is 1.09 volts, will get from galvanic cell. If we supply external EMF, how can we supply? Instead of this voltmeter, if these electrodes are connected with battery, right, then we can supply electricity. If we supply more than cell EMF, the reversible reactions will be takes place, which is the origin for secondary batteries. Here, if we supply external current which is greater than 1.09, which is a cell EMF produced from these two electrodes, greater than 1.09 volts, then the cell reactions will be reversible, right? If the reactions are spontaneous or not can be understood from the electrochemical series. Once again, if delta G is negative, delta G is equal to minus NFE. We know this expression, delta G is equal to minus NFE. So, by knowing the E naught, electrode potential, whether delta G is negative, the reactions happening in the cell are spontaneous. So, this is about electrochemical cell. Next, electrolytic cell. What is electrolytic cell? And one more thing, here how can we represent electrochemical cell? Representation of electrochemical cell. Here, which one involves in oxidation? Zinc. Here, so that the electrode which involves in oxidation is known as anode. Anode is written as extreme left. So, what is the reaction? Zinc to zinc 2 plus. So, zinc which is separated with hash double slash, here copper 2 plus 2 copper, right? So, the electrode which involves in oxidation considered as anode. Anode is represented at extreme left. Cathode which involves in reduction is represented at extreme right. If at all any concentrations given, which must be represented after electrolytic solution in brackets. Both the electrodes are separated with vertical lines, two vertical lines which indicates salt bridge connectivity between two electrodes. Right? This is a representation of electrochemical cell. After that, another basic cell to understand batteries functioning, electrolytic cell. Electrolytic cell. Electrolytic cell is a device which converts electrical energy into chemical energy. The supplied electrical energy is converted into chemical energy. Supplied electrical energy. In electrochemical cell, the stored chemical energy is converted into electrical energy. Here in this electrolytic cell, the supplied electrical energy is converted into chemical energy. So what happened here? The decomposition of chemical may takes place. As a result, the chemical reactions will be takes place. For example, here electrolysis process is carried out in electrolytic cell. What is that process? Electrolysis. Lysis means here dissociation, decomposition, that is called electrolysis by using electricity. Here two electrodes. Cell consists of two electrodes which are connected with the battery because we are supplying external electrical energy. So battery, is it clear? This is electrolytic cell which consists of two electrodes. One is anode and another one is cathode. Right. So in this electrolytic cell, we have to remember one special character. What is that? Here in electrochemical cell, anode is having negative charge, but in this electrolytic cell, anode will get positive side. Here cathode will get negative side. So already we discussed in electrochemical cell why anode get negative charge. Why? Because electrons are moving away from the anode because of its negative charge. Here anode is having positive charge. Why? Because here the electricity enters at anode. Electricity means here flow of electrons. Flow of electrons means negative charge. Negative charge enters through positive charge. So that's why because of that reason anode got positive charge. Here cathode having negative charge. Here both are connected to the external battery. Here the supply, what is the function of this electrolytic cell? The supplied electrical energy is converted into chemical energy. For example, I am taking aqueous NaCl solution, anyone like any electrolyte which is a strong electrolyte, aqueous NaCl. By supplying electricity, what happened? The chemical decomposition will be takes place. Na plus plus Cl minus. Chemical decomposition will be takes place. Here in this electrolytic cell, the current enters through this anode and here moves through this aqueous NaCl by the movement of ions and leaves from this cathode electrode. Right? So what is the need of this electrolytic cell? Here secondary battery during charging phenomena. Here we know that secondary battery functions through two different cycles, that is discharging and charging. In charging cycle, the secondary battery functions as electrolytic cell. So that we should know about the functioning of electrochemical cell as well as electrolytic cell to understand the mechanism of secondary battery. This is about the basic unit of battery, that is electrochemical cell as well electrolytic cell. If you have any doubts, you just comment on this. Thank you all.